Hello dearies and welcome to my channel. My name is Valeria and I'm sorry I'm a little flushed today. I just came back from the run and while I was running I was writing the idea for this video and I just couldn't stop and I wanted to share this information so bad. Today we're gonna talk about a very interesting topic and something that I've been thinking and trying to put into words for a while. Today's topic is self-value and self-worth. A lot of people talk about self-value, self-worth, confidence, how important that is to be confident. You have to respect yourself in order for other people to respect you. The question that I usually get is, where do you find this self-value? If, for example, you're not going to therapy and you're trying to figure things out on your own, because I understand that that can be the case, and I genuinely believe that if the person puts their mind into it, they can figure out some things on their own and build up that self-confidence and self-value by themselves through journaling or self-work or by educating themselves, for example. The question is, how do you do that by yourself? What are the things that you need to understand? What are the things that you need to go through? And today I'm gonna give you some theory, some tips, as well as practical things that you need to start implying into your life in order to find and build up that self-value, confidence, self-respect. At the end, I'm also gonna name the most crucial and important difference between the person who values herself and the person who doesn't. I wish it was as easy as watching one video, but we are all mature adults and we understand that such processes take time. In order to build something like self-value, self-worth, you need to give yourself time and dedicate yourself to working on yourself. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Let's start from the start. What is the biggest difference between a person who has high self-value, high self-esteem, and the person who doesn't? For the sake of the research and for you to better understand the concepts that I'm gonna explain today, I'm gonna take we 1.0, which was me before therapy and before learning how to value, respect myself, and all of those wonderful self-development things, and we 2.0, me after therapy, after learning all of those things. Though sometimes I feel like we 5.0 at this point of my life, but that's not the case. We 1.0 doesn't respect herself, has no self-value, she is very insecure, she cannot defend herself, she cannot stand up for herself, she doesn't understand what she wants, where she's going, how to say no to people, how to attract a partner who would actually respect and value you, how to value herself. That is we 1.0. Now, we 2.0 is the person who respects herself, who knows where she's going, who can build strong, healthy relationships with boundaries, respect, and love for herself and for her partner. We 2.0 is the person who loves herself, who's her own best friend, best supporter, and who can always rely on herself, who can get through everything in life just because she has her. So what's the difference between those two? We're gonna start with point number one, self-discovery. You need to learn who you are. You need to learn what your values are. You need to educate yourself on the subject of you. You need to become your greatest research. You need to understand what are your values, what kind of people you want to be around, what kind of people you don't want to be around. You need to be honest with yourself about what kind of people you are around. You need to learn and practice self-reflection in every situation. When something happens in your life, you need to start asking, how did I attract this into my life? What did I do for me to be in this situation? Why is the situation happening? What can I learn from it? You need to step into the ownership mindset. You need to own everything that's happening in your life. You need to own up to every person who surrounds you. You need to take the responsibility for all the situations that you're in. For example, you have a shitty job, you have a job that you don't like, you're in a toxic relationship, you're living with your parents, which you don't really enjoy. The only person who should be responsible for that in your head is you. Why? We're not talking self-blame, we're not talking hating on yourself, because when you take the responsibility for everything that's happening in your life, you also also take the power to change everything that's happening in your life. You can only affect one person in this world, and that is you. If you understand that you can change yourself in order to change the circumstances around you, and you feel the power to change whatever that is happening in your life, and thus you have the confidence and a great amount of self-respect for yourself, you know that no matter what happens, you'll be there for you. And back to the subject of knowing yourself. When you know yourself, when you know what are the things that you like, what are the things that you don't like, if you know your deepest, darkest parts, nothing can scare you. The biggest issue with lack of self-value and self-respect is that usually those people are simply not accepting themselves for some reason. True self-discovery happens when you're alone, when you're left by yourself and there is nobody else's opinion but your own. And when you discover yourself, when you start understanding where you stand on certain topics, what you think about certain things, you will become a person, not just a space holder. V 1.0 doesn't know anything. She doesn't know what her interests are. She doesn't know what her hobbies are. She doesn't know how she likes to spend her time. And usually when she's bored, she just tries to call up some friends or find somebody to entertain her because she can't entertain herself. She doesn't really know what she likes. While 2.0 doesn't need anybody. She can have fun with herself. She knows what brings her pleasure. She knows what brings her joy. She knows what she wants to do on a Friday evening if there is nobody around. She knows how to be with herself because she educated herself on herself. She has a guidebook on how to be with herself, how she wants to be treated, how she wants to spend her time, what she values, what she doesn't value. People treat you the way you treat yourself. One of the biggest reasons for low self-esteem and low self-value is you do not invest enough in yourself. And I mean financial resources, time, any other resources that you invest usually in other people or your job or everything outside. We usually don't invest enough in ourselves. So if you start doing that, if you start investing time in yourself through journaling, taking yourself out on dates, going for walks to connect with nature, by doing all of those things, you show up for yourself. You invest time with yourself. You learn about yourself. You self-reflect. And by doing this, you prove to yourself that you are very valuable to you. You are worthy of a lot of time. You're worthy of a lot of effort. It's like guys who have an expensive car. They invest so much money into it. They value it because they first invest a lot of money into it, and secondly, they invest a lot of time taking care of the car, and thus the car becomes very valuable to them. You need to become your own car. You need to start investing your time, your energy in yourself. Next point. V 1.0 needs external reassurance. She needs reassurance from her parents or her friends. When she makes the decisions, it's very hard for her to decide where she wants to go, what she wants to buy, where she wants to live. Maybe she doesn't even think about it. She just takes what other people are telling her as something that she needs to imply in her life. For example, her parents want her to live in Toronto, so she moves to Toronto because that's what her parents want. While 2.0, when she questions what she wants to do, where she wants to go, where she wants to live, first she questions everything, whether it's something that she actually wants to do, move for example. And secondly, the only person she asks, the only person she relies on is herself. She doesn't need to call up a friend. She doesn't need to talk to her mom and tell her how her day went because she can process her day by herself with a journal. And I'm not saying that talking to your mom is a bad thing. Imagine that everybody else in the world stopped existing. And I know we're social creatures. Just for one day, nobody else exists. Would you be able to make the decisions on your own? Are you actually comfortable without having anybody else in your life, choosing where you want to go, choosing what you want to do today, choosing what you want to eat, choosing where you want to live, choosing where you want to study? You should be the only person who makes those decisions. And even if you take advice from other people, the jury, the person who makes the final decision, should be you. And you need to have such strong connection with yourself, such strong belief in yourself, that you know what sounds like a yes and what sounds like a no to you, and you know the difference between those two, and you know for sure that if you feel like it's a no, you'll be able to say no. V 2.0 not only can make decisions for herself, she can also stand up to other people and be confident in her opinions and her decisions. She can say to her parents, mom and dad, love and respect you a lot, but I like carrots. If you don't like carrots, it is your life. I'm my own person and I love carrots, and I'm gonna eat carrots because that's what makes me happy. V 1.0 will look for a social approve. So if everybody else hates carrots, she's not gonna eat carrots. V 2.0 will say, if you don't like me because I like carrots, that means that you are not worthy of my time and my energy, because I am much more than my like or dislike of carrots. And there is that, and she would just walk away confidently and with peace in her heart. Now, the biggest difference, the most crucial difference between a person who values herself and a person who doesn't, a thing that, trust me, will bring you an immense amount of self-value and self-respect, is independence. And I mean independence in a lot of senses, in a lot of things. V 1.0 is very dependent on social opinion, on finances from her family or maybe her boyfriend, on external validation and external approval, on people telling her what to do and dictating her how she should feel about herself. V 2.0 is financially dependent. She knows how to make money. She knows she can make money. She makes her own money, no matter how little. If it's enough to cover her basic needs and basic expenses, that is great. If she wants to make millions, that is great as well. But she should be financially independent. We live in a materialistic world, and finances equal to freedom. And if you feel freedom, you also have this confidence to walk away from every situation that doesn't serve you. So she is financially independent. She educates herself on the topic of finances. Not only she's financially independent, she's educated, because education is also a form of freedom. If you invest in your education, in your skill set, that can lead you to a freedom in the future. Not only financial freedom, you can use skills in order to make money, but also a freedom of self-discovery, basically. You educate yourself so you know what you want. Your brain works differently. You can rely on your own intelligence. Her self-value doesn't rely on anybody else. She knows that she does not depend on anybody's opinion. She's independent in her decision making. V 1.0 has a low self-esteem because she is dependent on others' people's opinion of her, of how she is perceived. V 2.0 is confident and self-sufficient and values herself because nobody else's opinion matters to her as much as hers. And she truly believes that no matter what happens, no matter which situation she's in, no matter who she's surrounded with, she can provide everything that she wants for herself. So she has this freedom and independence to walk away. And let me tell you, the people will respect you 10 times more if they know that you do not need them. It sounds ironic, but if you can walk away from every person, from every situation, you will be so much more valuable to them. This is what confidence and self-value is. Being able to be alone and be by yourself, with yourself in total comfort. Now, let's get to the things that you need to start implying in your life, that you need to start doing in order to become more confident. What are the things that you're gonna start doing in order to build up this confidence and self-value? First thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna start making your own decisions, even the smallest one. What food to get, which dress to buy, how to spend your evening. You're gonna start making all of those decisions by yourself. Your brain memorizes the smallest actions. So if you make a choice which milk to buy, almond or coconut, this will still be recorded in your brain, and later on you will unconsciously start relying on yourself more and more. It all starts in small things, in small actions. Educate yourself and work on self-discovery. Read books, listen to podcasts, do journaling. Learn what are the things that you like and what are the things that you don't like in every aspect of your life. Start learning and naming your emotions. Learn how no feels to you, how yes feels to you, to your body, or how it feels emotionally. Know when you're angry or when you're upset, and instead of pushing those feelings down, start to recognize them. Start to see them as your friends, as your markers that are guiding you through this life. I can make a lot of videos on emotions and what they signal you, but start naming those and start being honest with yourself. If something doesn't sit right with you, understand that it doesn't and be honest with yourself instead of lying to yourself. You cannot respect yourself if you're lying to yourself or you're pushing your needs and feelings down all the time. Learn to say no to the small things and observe what happens after. Make it a habit of doing small things that you're scared of. For example, saying no. No matter what happens, it's not gonna be as bad as the end result in your head. So start saying no to small things. For example, an offer to go get ice cream when you don't want it, or saying no to a specific deadline when you know that you're not gonna finish it in time. Start with small things, and once again, your brain will start recording it and it will build up your confidence in a long run. And that is all I have for you guys today. Hopefully this video was helpful and insightful. Please share your journey in the comments or some of the things that you found very interesting or very helpful. And thank you so much for joining today. I'll see you on the next one, and have a wonderful day.